Riddick on 4K from Shout Factory is a very controversial release, surprisingly. So, when this was announced, I knew I was going to get this because I love the Riddick movies. I was disappointed that, unlike Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick, which are all owned by the same company, Universal, this film was not licensed to Arrow Video. It was licensed to Shout Factory, which I don't understand Universal's decision making there. I don't know if Arrow Video didn't ask for this, but I'm sorry, why would they have not asked for the rights to this movie if they were asking for the rights to the other ones? Very bizarre practice with this one. I had the Blu-ray. I want it all. I want the trilogy in 4K because I'm gonna rewatch them over and over again, which I've done. This one less so than the other ones. Chronicles of Riddick's not a great movie, but it's kind of fun. Pitch Black is actually a pretty good movie, and then this movie's kind of more just kind of there. So that's one mark against this release. The other mark against this release is I can't remember if it was the theatrical or unrated cut. It's edited. And no one's actually clarified why this release was edited. But basically, if you had the previous Blu-ray or the theatrical release, it wasn't edited from what I understand. And so, personally, from what I understand, it's just a few seconds or a minute of footage, trimming out some of the gore. I don't really notice it. I tried to find it, and while I was watching the movie, I didn't really notice it or see it. So for me, on the mark of why are you censoring a movie that's over a decade old? When did this movie come out? 2013, yeah. So over a decade old, about 12 years old. You're censoring this movie, and that's very bizarre. Because it's an older movie now. Why are you censoring it? Who's angry about this this movie? I don't know if it was a deliberate choice in censorship or a TV edit that they threw onto one of these 4K discs. I don't know, but it is very odd. I think that is a mark against this release. However, overall, if you're a big fan of this movie, I would still recommend this release. Because, first of all, while there isn't a ton here in special features, it looks like all the same stuff here from the previous Universal release. You get the 4K disc that has the unrated and theatrical on one disc, and then you got the second disc here with that's a Blu-ray disc with unrated edition and theatrical disc. I don't understand why they made this a 3-disc set, because it does actually make this expensive. This was $35 when I bought it. A little pricey for a movie that should at most be $30. If you put the 4K of the theatrical and unrated edition on the same copy, on the same disc, I don't know why you couldn't just do the same with the Blu-ray. I don't know why it needed to be 2 discs. This ends up being a 3-disc set, very odd, but this is the best this movie's ever looked. It looks fantastic. All the scenery and all the world design, these movies have a very unique style and tone with just how they look, and it pops quite a bit on 4K. Not the Blu-ray looked okay. It didn't pop like it does here though. It looks fantastic. This is a new 4K transfer that looks really good. The best this film's ever looked. So I don't know how to recommend this release because it's definitely way too pricey for one. It's edited for another one, and that is up to you on how you feel about it. I don't really know how I feel about it. It kind of bothers me, but kind of doesn't. I had the Blu-ray. I'm not really looking to get back the Blu-ray for a couple seconds of footage that was edited out. But it does bother me, just on principle of it being censorship, and censorship being bad. But I don't know. And again, if you're a fan of these movies and you have the Arrow Video 4Ks, you're kind of going to be mad that this doesn't really match. So, it makes for a very odd release. I don't know. let me know your thoughts on the Riddick 4K. I'm kind of all over the place with it, honestly. Like, overall, I'd recommend it if you're a big fan of this movie, but when the price goes down.